Cheech here with Fly Fish Food, and we have skill builder number 31. Today we're going to talk about clearing the hook eye when you get glue in it. We're going to talk about swapping bobbins when you have two different bobbins you're tying with, and how to tie biot tails like a copper john or a prince nymph.
That's a big brown roll.
I have just tied a woolly bugger. For many people, that's your first fly ever. And I'm going to put some glue on it, and let's say that I'm like Brig and I have bad dexterity, and I'm just going to put that glue right in that hook eye. Uh-oh, big problems, right? So let's get a bunch of glue in there. So right now, if that dries, we're gonna have to pop the glue out of that hook eye. And you've seen people come in here with like a bodkin and try to get it out. All this is going to do is going to poke a hole in that glue and then pull it right back into the eye. So what you need to do is you need to find something that will absorb the glue out of your eye. This is a hack that I learned from old Charlie Craven. And I'm just going to poke the excess hackle from this bugger through that hook eye. And that will pull all of the glue out of the hook eye. It works with head cement, it works with super glue, and resin. So that's the easiest way, in my opinion, to pull glue out of the hook eye. So what you can do is, like, once you have little scrap pieces of feather, put them all aside. And once you put glue on them, then you can throw them away. Anyway, that is a fun cool little hack. There are times in a fly tier's life where two colors of thread are needed on a fly. Okay, so you have thread in two different bobbins, and you need to take one thread off and put the other one on. For me, that mostly means I'm tying like an articulated streamer, and I've tied, the portion of the fly that uses normal thread, and then I'm ready to spin some deer hair or something, so I'm going to switch to GSP. So I'll start with this orange thread. Okay, let's say that this one's on the vise. Let's say we have a bunch of fun stuff tied back there. And now we're here close to the head, to the eye. And now I need to change to this one. Let's say that this red thread is what I need to change it to. Okay? So I've seen people go as far as to put the thread in their fingers and tie it in like this. Okay? Don't do that. I've seen people take the thread like this and then hold it back and then make sure it's tied in. Okay? So here's the easiest way to do it. Okay, take your existing thread, move it as far forward as you can, then take your new thread and just wrap back on top of both of them. Then, once you do that, just take both of those tags and trim them off, and you're tied on, you're ready to go. You don't need to glue down that change in thread. The tension alone will hold it just right, and then there are going to be materials on top of it. So, anyway, that is the best way, in my opinion, to change your thread. So let me show you one more time in real time. Brig's gonna have to edit this. No, I'm so fast, you don't even need to edit it, Brigham. Check it out. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, again, we have our thread that's existing. We're gonna take that forward. We're gonna take our other thread and hang on to the tag, wrap that, and then pull everything back and trim it. There you go. 2 times. Let's do it a third time. Never mind. All right, here we have a bare hook with some thread on it. We're going to work with biots today. We're going to show you a way to tie in a biot tail, but let me show you this. I'm going to show you my new fly fishing gloves. See right here. You can see I always fish in long sleeves, so I have really cool fly fishing gloves. Anyway, don't let that distract you from the fact we're going to learn something cool right now. All right, so we're going to tie in a split biot tail, kind of like a copper john or one of those bad boys, a prince nymph. And there are a couple ways to do this. All right, so here we have some biots that I've trimmed off of, or I didn't trim, I just pulled them off of the feather. These are turkey biots. Same principles apply, turkey or goose. And so there's a little curvature to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place those so that the curvature is opposite each other, so they kind of splay out. So here's another hack. To get that to work best, get rid of those little tag ends. There you go. As you can see, I haven't done this for a hot second. The biots are same length, curving away from each other. All right, so I've got them pinched in my finger. And the way that I like to tie these feathers in is I'm going to transfer this. I'm going to kind of gauge how long I want them. Then I'll take my opposite hand and just pinch those in place, kind of on top of the hook shank, more than around the sides. So if I take this and just use a pinch wrap and I go up and pull it straight down and do that again, I should have biot tails that slightly splay when I tie them in. Now, if I wrap back toward the points at any point with my thread, sometimes that can mess up the angle, but I can now just take this and start wrapping those up the hook shank. You can keep them nice on top of the hook. But anyway, that is how I like to tie in biot tails. You can do it, one at a time, but I find that just lining them up in your fingers first is the easiest way to get good results. So what I would do is just get some biots, tie them in, take them back out, lay them back down, and see if you can get that to be perfect. Just practice. Take them back off, cut them off, go through some biots, and then once you get to that point in a fly, you're set. Because if you think about it, you're only doing this technique once every, 20-something minutes when you're tying flies with it. But if you just practice it, you'll be able to get a lot of good reps in. So again, pinched where they're on top of the hook shank, a pinch wrap, pull it straight down, and I should have good, angled biot tails. Anyway, if you want to make them more aggressive, more angle to the side, that's typically when I'll tie those in one by one. I just got 2 more biots. And the reason why I like to do it together is because once you get that down, you can get them in pretty quick. This way it's 2 motions to tie them in. So here I go, I just tied one in, angling, away from the hook. Some people will put a ball of dubbing here, but really if you put enough tension on and you do it right, you don't need that. It just creates extra bulk. And watch, I'm probably going to do that in one of my next flies, because I do it sometimes. All right, so I'm going to pinch that other one in place. Again, some loose wraps until I get it. Not loose, very tight. So there you have it. And I don't like the way that other one's sitting, so I can just unravel that. You can see it's kind of weird and off to the side. And so I'll replace it maybe a little bit further on the opposite side of the hook. And see, this way you're kind of having to finagle to make them both identical. Whereas if you tie them in both at the same time, they're both kind of tied in exactly in the same spot, same length and everything. So anyway, tie them in both together, unless you like to take a lot of time to tie them in. There you have it, tying in biot tails with Uncle Cheech.